Hello, my name is Marius Grimsland, and this is my project presentation for CandyLand, or Project 2 of CSCI 1300. So, my general idea for this project was to create the game CandyLand within C++. So this game CandyLand has a lot of different functionalities within it, the main of which revolve around multiple different players drawing cards in order to advance a certain amount of tiles. And each of these tiles have random chances of giving you certain effects, maybe calamities or maybe setbacks for the game, which all make it more fun. There are also other aspects of the game like same tile constraints. If two players land on the same tile, they'll have to remove gold, a random amount of gold, from other players. So my general idea of implementing this project and approaching it was to first code this game driver CPP, or the int main. Within this, I would determine what functions I would need in what situations, what order, and what kind of functionality each of those would need. For example, I determined that in this game class, I would need a few main functions like load candies, load characters, and load riddles, which would all load from text files and put those directly into vectors that are in the int main. Those vectors could then be used in other functions in the player.h and player.cpp, or player.cpp and candystore.cpp, in order to display candies or load candies and characters onto the actual players. It was a very similar approach for most of this other parts of the game, like drawing cards. I determined it would have to give me like a color and a double or a regular, and then based on that, it would move me a certain amount of positions, or it would also check later on whether those tiles that the player had landed on were a special tile. And yeah, so a general demonstration. Alright, so in order to start this game, we'll have to first compile the right files. We need to start with player.cpp, gamedriver.cpp, game.cpp, board.cpp, and candystore.cpp. After we do that, we can choose the amount of players we'd like to play. I'll choose 2 for the simplicity of this presentation. Marius for the first, and I'll choose my character as Sugar Sal. I'll choose not to visit a candy store right now. My next player, Andreas, and I'll choose Minty Mandy for them. I'll choose to visit a candy store this time. And in order to get 10% off of every candy, I have to descramble 3 words in a row, all correctly. So I'll start with this one, should be candy. This one should be lollipop. This one should be cookies. And after all that, you can see I got all 3 right, so I get a 10% discount for all candies. So, out of these candies, I think I'd like to buy Crimson Crystal. So, since I just loaded 9 candies from the characters onto my player inventory, I have the max amount of candies I can have. So, then I would substitute one with my existing candies. So here it'll show me a list of all my existing candies. I'll choose to substitute with Caramel Comet. And there you can see that first Caramel Comet got replaced with Crimson Crystal right there. We'll start by playing the game, drawing a card for our first player. Here we got a double magic magenta, so we'll progress 2 magenta tiles, but we also landed in a sticky taffy trap. And in this we can use a magical candy in order to regain our lost turn. We'll go ahead and do that. Next we have Andreas. He advanced to a bubblegum blue. Just to make sure I lost that magical candy, I'll check our player stats, and you can see there is 1 empty candy right there for the magical candy we lost before. We also lost 1 stamina for that 1 move we made. Draw another card, advances to green. Here we got lost in a lollipop labyrinth, so we'll play a game of rock, paper, scissors in order to get our turn back. Yeah, we got tied, we'll play again. And I won, so I get my turn back. Do another card. We landed on the same bubblegum blue card, so Andreas has the chance to steal gold from Marius. We'll choose to do that. We stole 22 gold right there. Here we'll use a candy. I'm thinking of using Lucky Licorice. In this case, it'll give you a prompt for all the players you're eligible to use your Lucky Licorice on, since it is a harming effect on other players. In this case, since we only have 2 players, there's only going to be 1 option, which would be 2. So I'll go ahead and select that. Here, Andreas has Bubblegum Blast, which is an immunity candy, so it does counter Lucky Licorice. And they'll have the prompt to use it here, so I'll go ahead and do that. There, they successfully countered the poison candy Lucky Licorice, and they both lose their candy, so Andreas will lose Bubblegum Blast, and Marius will also use Lucky Licorice. So we'll go ahead and just double check that Andreas lost his Bubblegum Blast. As you can see, empty right there for the Bubblegum Blast.